Ornstein Bomba, ladies and gentlemen. Diomande. Preference is actually Liverpool. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, OK Jersey. Use code MHF for 8% off. That's where I got this Jordan shirt. The World Cup is starting. Let's go, vamos. We're going to watch Diomande, future Liverpool winger, play for Cote d'Ivoire as well. Big up to all of you guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Diomande Bomba. Let me show you guys the Bomba, people. So, this is the Ornstein Bomba that has sent the entirety of Liverpool, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is, into a mad happiness spree. Liverpool make contact with RB Leipzig as Diomande pursuit steps up. Liverpool currently in strongest position on the player side. If the 19-year-old winger moves, Leipzig determined not to sell. PSG interest remains firm but less advanced at the present. Let me show you some of the stuff as well from the David Ornstein article, because we've got to present the whole part of the argument, So, when it comes to Diomande, there may be a reluctance at Anfield to reach such numbers, which is 120 million, which is what Leipzig want, given the 450 million outlay last summer and other work required in the window. PSG maintain a strong interest of their own, but are not currently as advanced as Liverpool. PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi does, however, have a good relationship with Red Bull managing director Oliver Mintzlaff. Now, here's the thing when it comes to this whole Diomande stuff. Look, Diomande is a player we all take. I know I speak for 90% of the Liverpool fans when we say we take Diomande. Now, obviously, Bundesliga forwards, their record, their translation into the Premier League perhaps isn't the best. I take that. But we did have Roberto Firmino. We did have other players. 19 GA in 33 games in the Bundesliga is a very good return, specifically for a Leipzig player, not a Bayern Munich player or anything like that. So he played for RB Leipzig, and he absolutely cooked for them. Now, in terms of the player, I like his qualities. I think he's a player that can hold the width for us. He's a player that can definitely dribble. He's a player that can definitely, score goals. He's an eye for scoring goals. And for me, look, this is a player I would take. As I've said from the start of the summer, the thing with Diomande has always been Leipzig price tag. It's never been about Diomande himself. I mean, we've played the video previously on the channel where he says, my dad's dream is for me to play for Liverpool, and I'm a Liverpool fan, and all this type of stuff. So he said these type of statements before. And at the end of the day, if he sees himself as a Liverpool player, then he could push for a move. But RB Leipzig are absolutely taking the P with the price tag. No one is going to pay that much money for Diomande. Now, I know the winger market is quite weak. I know the winger market isn't as strong as it's been before. In previous years, it's not as it's not as you would expect. In previous times in history. However, that's still too much money for Diomande. I think that's way too big of a risk. And maybe that is a little bit of PTSD from last season. But I've got to be objective. Even though I like Diomande, even though I take him at Liverpool, I still think that price is way too high for Diomande. I think Diomande's price range is probably somewhere from 60 to 80 million. In that range, 80 would probably be like the tops I'd pay for him. And I think I'm being very fair and objective about it. However, as a player, he has the traits that we need. I actually think he's underrated in tight spaces. He's not as bad as people make out at all. He's underrated. I think he can create chances as well, which will help Isak. And most importantly, now with Iraola coming in, and then Iraola's army. Now with Iraola coming in, Liverpool will definitely cook on the wings. I mean, the guy is capable of pressing. The gegenpress, the way that Iraola plays football, is only going to be enhanced by the presence of someone like Diomande on the football pitch. The guy can come in and absolutely be a machine for us in terms of pressing, in terms of gaining the ball high up the pitch. I think he's capable of doing that. I don't think he's a lazy player at all. I think he's a hardworking player. And listen, he's come out publicly and said his dad's dream is for him to represent Liverpool Football Club. Now, I've always maintained, look, I've got to be objective and cover like sort of like all elements of something. Yes, even though Diomande has chosen Liverpool, even though Diomande likes Liverpool, I'm going to be honest and objective. At the end of the day, I do not think that we are going to pay that much money. So in terms of like the whole transfer and the Ornstein Bomba and this whole situation, I think Leipzig are going to have to significantly reduce their price tag. I think we're going to have to go into a more realistic number in order for Diomande to be a Liverpool player. I love the fact that he's chosen Liverpool. It shows that we are the priority ahead of PSG, which is a huge deal. You know, obviously PSG back-to-back European champions. Now I know they mentioned the relationship between Nasser Al-Khelaifi and the Leipzig director. However, I know PSG are not the club that will pay 120 million for a winger anymore, because that's not logical. And you know, when it comes to that much money, I'll be honest with you guys, that much money probably gets you Olise. If you call Bayern Munich and offer them 120 million, they'll probably sell you Olise himself, never mind Diomande. So I think it's too much money. But the player profile is what we need. This guy can score goals, he can dribble, he can keep the width, he can press high up the pitch. You know, we need to win the ball higher up the pitch in areas he can do it. Now, I'm no Bundesliga expert. I've only watched him here and there. The two leagues that I watch probably more than anything is probably French league and Spanish league, given the fact that they're on BN Sports. Sometimes I have the games on in the background when I'm doing a show and stuff like this. I'm not a Bundesliga expert or anything. I actually think that league is dead. However, you know, in the games that I've seen Diomande, including the AFCON as well that we covered on this channel, I actually think he's a good player. I think he has the capabilities and he can definitely help us. And this is the thing at the end of the day. You want to be helped. You want to give all these star players, you want to give, you know, the likes of Isak and Wirtz the support that they need, because we can't have another season where the likes of Isak, Wirtz are looking like crap. It's just not a thing. For me, Iraola is the manager that I wanted. You know, I was asked on multiple shows, would you take Iraola? I said yes. When they asked me, Hussam, out of the available managers, who would you take? I always said Iraola. So I'm an Iraola guy. I want Iraola's football at Liverpool. I want to watch that. But when I'm looking at the totality of the team, we need probably two right wingers, not just one. We need probably a backup striker because Ekitike is out till February. We need a new left winger, possibly. You know, maybe we need a backup six. Now that Konate is gone, we need another center back. Maybe we need a right back, depending on Bradley's injury. You're talking about 6 or 7 players. You're talking about, you know, almost like another transition season. And we can't sign Wirtz and Isak and keep transition and rebuild. Like at some point in time, you're going to have to take it to the next level. And I think we can only take it to the next level with better players and better signings. Yan Diomande is part of that. But when I'm looking at the package, like let's say we have a 300 million pound package or 350 million pound package for the transfers this summer. I think spending 100 million on Yan Diomande is too much money. I'll be the first to say it, even though I'm his fan. So unless Leipzig reduce the price tag, or the other element is for us as Liverpool, is we could include Harvey Elliott as part of the deal. Like we could include someone like Harvey Elliott. I know they're interested in Harvey Elliott, but then the question becomes, how much do they value Harvey Elliott at? If they value Harvey Elliott at a 40-50 million pound range, would you be more accepting to get Diomande for like 50 million plus Harvey Elliott? Then the answer is yes. But if they value Harvey Elliott really low, then you're looking at like a, you know, Harvey Elliott plus 70 million, then it would still be too much money. So for me, I think these things are more monetary than anything else. But as a player, I'm very excited. These are the players we should be aiming for in this transfer. And these are the players that get us all excited. And for me, when it comes to Yan Diomande, he's definitely a player I would take at Liverpool. Anyway, Ornstein Bomba, Diomande to Liverpool. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.